Kopech. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Thank you, Kershaw. This is a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Marcy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Give me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back.
How will the Dodgers trade pieces impact this year's team? What are the first impressions? We got big takeaways from the week that was, and also big injury updates. So much and more here. Will Shohei Ohtani be the first 50-50 man in baseball history? That's coming up next on a jam-packed edition of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddy. Mookie Magic.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel in the game. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. We just did a giveaway at 94,000. We gave away a brand new, authentic Dodgers. I think it's going to be a Jack Flaherty jersey, but it's whatever jersey that the winner wants for the newest trade acquisition. But we're getting very close to 95,000. We're getting so close to our big 95K giveaway. That is a Shohei Ohtani authentic road gray jersey. All you have to do to be eligible to win is 1, hit the subscribe button, and 2, comment Go Tani down below. Getting close to 100K too, so we got a big one planned for that. Also, just a reminder, this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by our friends over at Autograph. Autograph is an amazing app where real fans get unreal rewards by bringing the best content for the Dodgers into one place. Autograph is the first app that can recognize and reward fans, turning their passion into access and experiences. Get all the Dodgers content in one place, read articles, listen to podcasts, get ranked, and level up so you can win unique experiences to meet Dodgers stars, get signed jerseys, and so much more. Download Autograph now using the link in our bio and use code DNAutograph to start winning now. And also, this show is brought to you by BetOnline, your #1 source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC and MMA and boxing, every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to their online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your free 50% off free bet credit for your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here. Okay, so now the bills are paid. We got our Dodgers Nation poll question of the show. It's how we start every single show here on Dodgers Dugout Live. I asked you guys over on the X, will Shohei Ohtani become the first 50-50 player in MLB history? Right now, 74% of you say yes, while 26% of you say no. I'm assuming that's a lot of Angels fans that are still upset that he's not in Anaheim. But we've got a jam-packed show, and you know how this show goes down. The #1 Dodgers live stream here on YouTube, and I'm looking for your fire takes. All your fire takes will be featured on the screen, and you'll see one of these.
Fire take.
Anytime we see a comment of the show, you're going to see one of these.
You win. Perfect.
Anytime it's a little sus, usually coming from Nando. One of these.
Bruh.
And of course, we got super producer Antonio. Tony Tater's rocking with us. By the way, we are in a brand new studio. pretty much the fourth studio. We got a bigger and better place that we're working with now. So it's our first show in our brand new studio. So thanks to all you guys out there for making this possible. Pretty much sponsored by Whack'em Sticks, pretty much bought us this, and Kelly O'Shear and all the great super chat guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. And also Young Lotto, Mr. Noel Sanchez, Dodgers Nation social media manager, superstar right there. He's looking for all your fire takes as well. But let's see what we got so far. We got IC after seeing the Dodgers in person at the Coliseum. We need our heavy hitters at all costs. The team is built like the White Sox, and Luis Roberts is Ohtani. So I wouldn't go that far. Good thing the cavalry is on the way. The reinforcements are on the way, in the way of Mookie Betts and Max Muncy, and Freddy Freeman's going to be back as well. So this offense is going to be just fine. We'll talk more about that in a second. We got Tommy Alvarado, Glasnow versus Nola, big time game, playoff atmosphere. Yes, and that is the leadoff today. The Dodgers. We're going to talk about the big series against the Philadelphia Phillies. So the Phillies are in town to take on the Dodgers. And if you look at the Dodgers record, they go 2-3 last week and was the best of weeks. You lost the 2 games to San Diego. You win the series against the Oakland A's to salvage what could have been a really rough week. But after all that, you look at the last 61 games for the Dodgers, last 61 games for LA. They're exactly 1 game over 500, sitting at 31-30, and they're still just 1.5 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League West. They're 4.5 games up on the division, so the division is not completely sewn up, but you look at where they stand in the league. If they have a dominant series against this Phillies team, well, guess what? They'll be the best team in the National League after this series, and they will get Mookie Betts back around August 12th, August 13th. You're going to get Max Muncy back, who has really turned a corner from what I've heard. You are going to get Yamamoto back, hopefully at some point, end of August, early September. Things are trending in the right direction. You went out there and you made the trades that you needed to make as far as addressing starting pitching, as far as adding another bullpen piece. You still have Tommy Edman on the way that can help out as a switch-hitting utility man. I'm here to tell you, Dodgers fans, that as rough as it's been, the bullpen being down, the starting rotation being down, the offense being really hit or miss as far as scoring runs early, but then going on long droughts, all of that is going to change because you're getting an MVP back in Mookie Betts. You're getting another MVP back in Freddy Freeman, who has missed time due to a family emergency. So look, they've weathered this storm. They've treaded water, and that's why it's a perfect week for a series against the Phillies. Even though you are depleted and you're not at 100%, it's a good week to go home. You still got that buzz from the trade deadline, and you're coming off a rough week against the Padres, but you did win a series against the Oakland A's in the Coliseum. But you got a 3-game set, and tonight, as you point out, you had Glasnow against Nola. Tomorrow, a big matchup, Sanchez taking on Kershaw, and then Gavin Stone, who's really had a rough go of it since his complete game shutout in Chicago, going up against Phillips. So this series, is it going to determine what happens if these two teams face off in the postseason? Absolutely not. In 1988, the Dodgers lost 10 of 11 games to the New York Mets, and they beat them in the NLCS. Okay, it's not going to be relevant from that standpoint, but I hear people out there, D-Mag, I don't care if we win the division. Let's sneak in as a wild card. Let's win 88 games and then win the World Series. That's not how it works, okay? You still want to win the most games as you possibly can, and the difference now is, yeah, I get it. This team slumped. This team, the layoff hurt last year. The injuries hurt last year. They haven't really been able to hit since they've had the layoff with the expanded postseason. But you know what else they haven't had? They haven't had Shohei Ohtani. They haven't had Teoscar Hernandez. They haven't had those guys on their roster. So for me, that's what I want to see. So let me first see this Dodgers team win their best record in the league and have the extended rest and have the best possible matchup with Shohei Ohtani before we start to say, okay, the regular season does not matter. So for me, 100% I'm going with that. We got D-Mac. Who do you see getting removed from the 26 man? That's from Ronnie. Talk about that here in just a second. The Dodgers definitely have some roster moves that they're going to make. But as we do every single Monday, we start with our big takeaways from the week that was. When you see a positive takeaway, you're going to get a Let's Go Dodgers. Anything that's not so positive, a little Oregon. But let's read some super chats. Let's read some chats here. Gorda Smasher. First of all, you're going to get a fire take for your name. So I love that. D-Mac, can you shout out my coworker here in Mira Loma listening to the Dodgers Nation at lunchtime? D-Mac is my guy. Shout out to Mira. Hope you guys having a great lunch. Hopefully have some carne asada fries and a Modelo for me. We got to Tommy Alvarado, Glass now versus Nola, big time. Absolutely. We talked about that one. BC TI Guy 3 says Dodgers need to step up and win this series against the Phillies after getting their butts kicked last time. They need to step up on the pitching and defensive side. Absolutely. And there's no doubt about it that this does feel like a series where the Dodgers could try to avenge what happened in the first half of the season when the Dodgers went to Philadelphia and it really just was not pretty, and you were hoping to get a better result from that, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. The Dodgers got swept against the Phillies. Wheeler had his way, Sanchez had his way, Nola had his way. The Dodgers, the second game, they lost 4-3 on that one. But yeah, if you look back in that series, I mean, Strom struck out Ohtani. I remember in the seventh in that one, with he's trying to tie, so Ohtani wasn't able to come through. But still, absolutely need to come through in a big way, and hopefully, at the very least, take 2 out of 3 from this Phillies team. And the goal is to, by the end of this week, have the best record in the National League. But first big takeaway from last week. First big takeaway from last week is Jumbo Jack Flaherty is going to change the course of this season. And we're going to look back 2 months from now and saying that the Dodgers trade for Flaherty was the jack of all trades. That it was the best trade that was made at the deadline because it gave the Dodgers exactly what they needed. Sure, they could have used a Scooble. They could have used a Crochet, a dominant number 1 type of ace. But I got news for you. Jack Flaherty is pitching like an ace this season, and it's his dream come true to be back in his hometown in Los Angeles. He's an 818 guy, a Burbank guy, went to Harvard Westlake, was a Wolverine. But the beautiful thing about Jack Flaherty is they got the right pitcher in the right situation that's the right fit. And you saw in his first start with the Dodgers, he gave up no runs, had 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, went 6 scoreless innings, gave just 5 hits on 99 pitches, not a lot of hard contact. And he also was able to get 16 swings and misses. And what was the most important part of this whole outing? Well, one, he did get hit on the ankle with a line drive there in the 4th, and there was nothing major about that. He stayed in the game, nothing doing there. But the most important thing about this start, it was just the second quality start. It was only the second quality start for the Dodgers in the last 30 games. The second quality start. That is the second lowest in all of Major League Baseball in the month of June. And to get quality from Jack Flaherty, someone who did not overly tax the bullpen, someone who was able to handle his business out there, is what this team needs now, and it's what they need in the postseason. And you look at the pitch mix, the fastball, the way he commands it, the way he can hit his spots to set up the slider and the knuckle curve, he keeps hitters off balance. And I think there's no doubt about it that he's, at best, the Dodgers' number 2 starter in the postseason. At worst, their number 3 starter. And right now, I'm leaning towards him being the Dodgers' number 2 starter in the postseason, just because I want to take some pressure off of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And also the fact that Yamamoto pitched so well on the road in Yankee Stadium. But if you look in a little deeper at his debut, pitched through some traffic early on in the debut, gave him 3 hits in the first 2 frames. He allowed just 8 hits in his last 3 starts combined. So I do think there were some nerves early on, just looking down at that Dodgers uniform, seeing that number 0, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw us, Noel. He said the 0 was inspired by Russell Westbrook and Jason Tatum.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
That's why he
big
wore
basketball guy.
The big basketball
That's
guy.
awesome.
Big basketball guy.
I like the first couple pictures that they took of him wearing that 0. It looks really nice.
Hey, and guess what? He gave 0 runs, and that was the most important thing.
Facts.
And
Facts.
People. I had friends. I was telling you before the show. I had friends tell me who is his NBA equivalent. Like who is his comp? I mean, almost like a Devin Booker, right? Not a superstar, but someone who's absolutely a star and someone that this team needed to pitch in that role. So I thought it was massive. I mean, you look at the fact that he's made 19 starts this season. At least 13 of those starts, he's pitched 6+ innings in those starts. So I was extremely impressed by Jack Flaherty. Like I said, it's going to be the jack of all trades. And I think the most important thing is that stays healthy, gets in a groove. I've seen Yankee fans out there saying, oh, his back is hurt. We could have had him if it weren't for his back. Sure, maybe, but I think that only helped the Dodgers because if you look at what they gave up in Tyrone Lorenzo and Trey Sweeney, those are two players that aren't going to factor in heavily to their future. And the Dodgers, I can tell you, were in the mix with Garrett Crochet until the very end. And it did come out, Jack Harris reported that they did not want to give up Dalton Rushing. And Dalton Rushing, by no coincidence, he gets promoted to AAA Oklahoma City. If Dalton Rushing rakes in Oklahoma City, things happen. Who knows? Maybe he can factor in at some point earlier than later. That's all I'll say. So what I loved about what the Dodgers did with Jack Flaherty and what they did at the trade deadline is they were able to pivot quickly to Flaherty when they weren't able to secure Garrett Crochet. And I think Flaherty makes more sense right now for this year's team because of the fact that he's on an expiring contract, gives them some flexibility, and it just feels like he's got the juice. He's got the confidence, the mound presence. He understands what it means to wear that Dodgers uniform. And I think right now you can say Glasnow, Flaherty, Yamamoto, and then a combination of whether it be Clayton Kershaw, Gavin Stone, River Ryan, Walker Buehler if he miraculously figures things out, Bobby Miller if he gets healthy and figures things out. At the very least, I can tell you from speaking to people this morning that they're confident that Yamamoto is going to return, that they see him on a very customized schedule that's going to be tailored to preserving him in the postseason. But right now, I feel very good about the Dodgers' top 3 of their rotation compared to years past. You have a dominant starter in Tyler Glasnow, who when he's right, he's about as talented and nasty as any pitcher in Major League Baseball. Just got to preserve him. Jack Flaherty having a career year, also wants to set up a big payday in the offseason. Hell, he might want to show this Dodgers team he wants to be extended and stay in Dodger blue because he's such a great fit. And then you have Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who outside of his first start, he was excellent this season. So the Dodgers' World Series chances improved after the deadline, and the reason was because they went out there and they traded for Jack Flaherty, and Flaherty did not disappoint in his Dodgers debut. I can't wait to see more of him. Now, let's take some more takes here. We got Jim Sacco. One of Roberts' best moves this season was letting Flaherty get out of his own mess in the 6th inning on Saturday. And that is a great point to fire take from Jonathan Vila over there. And really the most important thing about that takeaway is that when it's someone like a Jack Flaherty, who one is not under contract after the season, you know, my rented car theory, you drive those guys like rented cars, you get every single inning you can out of them. And 2, it's someone that is your big trade acquisition that you trust. You are going to give him some rope. You are going to give him some leash. And if you look at the 6th inning, Andujar, he was safe at first. Why was that? It was a throwing error there by Kevin Biggio. And then Blade, he singled to left. Rooker, he walked him on 6 pitches. Then Langoliers, he grounded into an infielder's choice there, a little fielder's choice there. And then he bounces back. He strikes out Brown. Nasty knuckle curve down the zone. And he got Toro to ground to second on the first pitch. So, yes, I do want to see Jack Flaherty get that trust from Doc Roberts. I think that's extremely important and a fantastic point. Now, how did some of the other new Dodgers do as far as first impressions? For me, Jack Flaherty, he nailed that first impression. He absolutely nailed it. the zero jersey, the mound presence, everything he said about being back in LA. Hell, his mom posting the baby picture of him in Dodgers gear. I think that was incredible. Just a fantastic story. So I give him an A for his first impression. First impressions are everything. He nailed it. Second, Kevin Kiermaier. Now, what are your takes on Jack Flaherty? Also, Kevin Kiermaier as well. So Kevin Kiermaier, he got the start in center on Friday. He went 0 for 2. He struck out on a fastball up in the zone. Then he flied to left. Pages ended up pitch hitting for him later in that game. And then yesterday, he started in center, went 0 for 3 with a walk. So far, Kiermaier's gone 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. And on the year, he has a 50 weighted runs created plus. So Kevin Kiermaier has been 50% below league average offensively, and he's ranked 272 out of 277 players as far as their offensive production with a minimum of 220 plate appearances. Tim Anderson's the worst, by the way, if you're keeping score at home. Now, Kevin Kiermaier, is interesting to see him make a little bit of a defensive blunder that impacted River Ryan yesterday. But I think for Kevin Kiermaier, it's just going to come down to, can he find a way to do anything offensively? You can't have a dead bat in the lineup. You can't have black holes in the lineup. Defensively, he's fantastic if he could find some way to stay on the roster because of injuries or other guys underperforming. Maybe he does get a shot, but man, that offense. I mean, you think of Chris Taylor this season and what you saw from CT3 for most of the year. That's essentially what Kevin Kiermaier has been, but very positive guy. He's going to retire after the season. The defense is just absolutely outstanding. We're talking about a 9 outs above average, a 10 DRS level player, literally basically a center field version of Miguel Rojas, if Miguel Rojas wasn't swinging it well this season. So not too high on the Kevin Kiermaier experience right now. So far, like I said, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. But another one, though, Ahmed Rosario. So I do have a little prediction here for next trade deadline. I don't care what team Ahmed Rosario's on, he's going to be traded to the Dodgers. Okay? 2 straight trade deadlines, traded to LA. Yesterday, Ahmed Rosario goes 0 for 4. He did start at shortstop. And this was very interesting because earlier in the week, Dave Roberts was really pouring cold water on the idea of Ahmed Rosario getting extended run outside of just facing left-handed pitchers. And Dave said on Friday, honestly, to be quite frank, he's not on this team, and we didn't acquire him to be an everyday player. He didn't play every day in Tampa and to hit righties. He said, we acquired Ahmed to hit lefties, and his track record has echoed that. But yeah, he's played good baseball this year. He really has. So the truth of the matter is that Ahmed Rosario's splits for the season, they've been incredibly interesting because they've been neutral. And Dave kind of alluded to not focusing on that, not really even being aware of how those splits turned out. But I mean, you have to acknowledge that, right? If you're the Dodgers, if you're a team that is putting together lineups that include Kevin Biggio, and Kike had a great week, but for the most part, he's been below average offensively, and James Outman and Andy Pages, who's been well below average for a good amount of time at this point. You need Ahmed Rosario until guys like Mookie Betts and Max Muncy and Freddy Freeman all return to this lineup. You need his offense. Will Smith has been struggling for 2 months, and you've got a guy in Ahmed Rosario that is having his best year at the plate. And sure, he does excel against left-handed pitching. Versus lefties this season, Rosario's hitting .330 with an .822 OPS. But against righties, he's hitting .292 with a .702 OPS. So not the same level of slug, but as far as average, he has done it in a significant amount of plate appearances. He's had more plate appearances against righties this season, 177, than lefties, 105. So, hey, let Ahmed Rosario play. He absolutely needs to be in there instead of Nick Ahmed. And the truth of the matter is, the Dodgers don't love his defense. And they're saying, okay, we have better defenders out there at the positions that he plays. But the truth is, I mean, Jason Hayward also has been on a below average bat. Kike Hernandez, Nick Ahmed. And Rosario can play in the outfield, in the corners, and he can play in the infield. I mean, you were playing Miguel Vargas in the outfield, and Vargas was struggling with the glove. So rest in peace, Miguel Vargas, who, he's always, I always loved this guy. I'm getting the jersey as soon as it drops, the White Sox. People were tweeting. You see people were tweeting someone checking on DMAC?
Yeah.
And that meant a lot. All your thoughts and prayers, guys, really meant a lot to me. But I definitely needed some time. But, I mean, I absolutely think you need to see Rosario play, and he needs to be in there more. And Dave Roberts would also say, I love Kike's defense at third. Jason's been a mainstay in right field versus left. And obviously Teo has also played right field. Gavin has been swinging a really hot bat. And the defense for Nicky Ahmed, I think, is as good as anybody in baseball. That's great. But for an offense that really is not doing enough of late to really help a bullpen that has been overly taxed and has struggled until the weekend series, I truly do think that if you are the Dodgers, you really need to give a little more thought into giving Ahmed Rosario a little more run. But let me know down below in the comment section. I mean, what do you want to see with Rosario? Should he be in the lineup more? Because he's 100%. I mean, he needs to make the 26-man postseason roster, right? And I think ultimately what they're going to do when everyone gets healthy and Tommy Edmonds back, we know that Kevin Biggio is going to get DFA'd. We know that Nick Ahmed is likely going to be DFA'd. James Outman, you're going to option. Andy Pages, I do think they're leaning towards optioning right now. We'll see what happens with Chris Taylor when he returns in the groin injury. We'll see what happens with Kike Hernandez, who I think you just kind of have to keep him because he can get so hot. But why trade for Rosario if you're not giving him opportunities, especially right now? So I just don't understand it. Ray V. Guzman, yes, Rosario should be playing third for now. We need his bat. Totally agree, Ray Guzman. SAIRHC. Want to see Rosario play more, but damn, can he take a pitch or two every now and then? Guy swings at everything. Hey, look, guys that can rake, though, I mean, we said the same thing about Corey Seager, okay? Guys that can rake, let them do what they do. And the truth is, Rosario, he had really become one of the most underrated bats in baseball this season, and it was just a great pickup when you consider the Dodgers gave up Michael Flynn, a 27-year-old pitcher in AAA that was on a minor league deal that was not going to be a part of their future. I mean, we're talking about a 114 weighted runs created plus, hitting 306. So, yeah, he doesn't walk a lot. I mean, his walk rate's at 2.5% this season, down from 5.3% last year. But what I tell you when they made the trade for Rosario is that the reason why I want to see him in right now is because last season when they gave up Noah Syndergaard, they somehow, some way got a real human being for him in Rosario. Was that Rosario hit lefties well in Cleveland, but that number went down significantly when he was with the Dodgers. So I want to see if he can actually hit lefties consistently with the Dodgers this time around. So don't understand that one. Need to see him in the lineup. We got, what's up, Dodgers Nation? Love from London, the UK. Nice. We got London in the house. We got DMAC. Can I get a bruh? This is from Gorda. DMAC, can I get a bruh? My coworker is wondering why Tatis is not hitting a lot of home runs. He is an unfortunate diehard Padres fan. I'll give you a bruh. Well, he's been injured, so there's that. But Jonathan Vita, what players do you think will be DFA'd or optioned down when players... I kind of answered that, didn't I? Jonathan Vita, but we'll talk about that a little more, too, when we talk about River Ryan in a second here. OG Ray 24, it's going to be like Avengers Endgame with Mookie and Freddy saying on your left to Ohtani. Yeah, give me goosebumps just thinking about that one. I'll give you a comment of the show right there. Lily, the Dodgers are getting the Phillies at the right time. We're at home. It's time to crack some bats and get it going. That's a fantastic take, Liddy. That's a Liddy take from Lily. But Lily, is that, look, that's how it is in baseball. You want to catch teams at the right time. I mean, Tommy Lasorda said you're going to win 1/3 of your games, you're going to lose 1/3 of your games, the other third that really matter. And a part of those other third games are how those matchups play up. Are you healthy? Are they healthy? Does your pitching line up? Does their pitching line up? And this is a Phillies team that had lost 12 of 16 at one point. Every good team goes through a little bit of a slump. And they're also going to use this game too, though, to get right. And this is a game in a series where everyone's going to give their best against the Dodgers. We know what Mookie said during the spring training, that every team is going to look at the Dodgers as their World Series. I don't buy into that much, but still a marquee matchup with two of the top teams in the National League. This is going to be a postseason-like atmosphere tonight at Dodger Stadium. So get ready. You got Trey Turner back in town. I mean, this Dodgers team, they have a lot to play for in this Phillies team as well, and it could be an NLCS preview. Now, next big takeaway, Michael Kopech. Now, I'm not the victory lap type. That's not what I do, okay? Wait a minute. I'm the ultimate victory lap guy. That is what I do. And I was pushing for Michael Kopech. Like, let's be honest. This was the first Dodgers podcast that pushed for a Jack Flaherty and Michael Kopech trade. I'm not saying Andrew Friedman bases roster moves on this show, but pretty sure he does. No, I'm just playing, of course. They're the most intelligent front office in baseball. But when I was pushing for the trade for Michael Kopech, what I was trying to say the entire time, and the point I was making, was that you can't teach velo. You can't teach triple-digit heat. Right? But what you can teach is mechanical adjustments and the way to attack hitters and pitch mix and command. So that's what made Michael Kopech so enticing. And so far, he's looked fantastic with the Dodgers. He's retired all 6 of the batters he faced this weekend, and he had 4 strikeouts. He's retired all 6 of the batters he's faced. Michael Kopech is someone that could be unlocked with his team, and he could turn into one of the best relievers in baseball. That is his ceiling. That is his upside, and that's not hyperbole there. If you looked against the Padres, went 1 inning, had 3 strikeouts, nasty, gas, up in the zone. I mean, Michael Kopech could change his bullpen. He struck out Merrill with a 4-seam fastball, 99 up in the zone, Bayou. Then Kim struck him out swinging, challenged him, 99-mile-per-hour fastball, down in the zone, heart of the zone, right there, change in eye levels. Then Campusano, 4-seamer, 100 up out of the zone, getting that chase. So you love the 3 strikeouts, struck out the side. That's how you know you're going to have a good year, man, with a new team. That's the ultimate change of scenery. Strike out the side in your Dodgers debut, and then in Saturday night's 10-0 bludgeoning at the end, he didn't get the 3 strikeouts, but he did get 1 punch out. And it was a 4-seam fastball up out of the zone. So with Michael Kopech, his last 6-7 starts, since he's made a little bit of an adjustment, he tweaked some things with his cutter, but that was with the White Sox. Imagine what it looks like when he goes through Dr. Mark Pryor's pitching lab in LA and the potential that he has. And if you look at his pitch mix and what he brings to the table, that's what wins in the postseason. His 4-seam fastball averages 98.6 miles per hour. That is in the 99th percentile. And he throws it 78.8% of the time. The issue for him was that cutter, which he throws 11.1% of the time. Opponents hitting 250 off it. And that slider, they were slugging 370 off it. So I think you're going to see a little more cutter use from Michael Kopech. And I think they're going to try to tweak some things with that slider, but he has all the makings of being an elite reliever. I'm really excited about him. We got, is Freeman back today? They haven't announced that yet. I feel like he probably will be, though. We'll talk about that in a second from Roy Estrada. Christopher Kopech was held back by being in a bad White Sox organization. Get him in the prior pitching lab and the Dodgers S-tier player development. They'll turn him into a monster. Fire take right there. Hey, he's my closer. He's the guy I want to see get a lion's share of those closing opportunities, because look at yesterday. Evan Phillips performed a lot better. And I think Evan Phillips is more comfortable when you move him around in certain spots where he's back to being that high leverage guy that made him so successful for so many years. Sure, you have a lot of guys that are capable of getting saves. Daniel Hudson, Blake Trinan, Joe Kelly, Alex Vesey. I mean, Brusdar Graterol is in LA. We could see Brusdar Graterol back this week. Ryan Brazier is also on the mend pretty soon. Brazier had a 1-2-3 inning with 2 punch outs the other night, and in 4 games, he's had 7 strikeouts and no walks. So keep in mind, Ryan Brazier could come back and help this team. But Michael Kopech, high velocity, high upside. Give me Michael Kopech as my closer. I want it. Anthony Bonda has been great too. Bonda's been fantastic as well. That's from Eddie over on YouTube. We got Nathaniel says, you don't need velo to be good when you spot and spin and the ball, no one can touch Blake. For sure. I mean, that's true. But Blake Trinan, I mean, Blake, they need Blake Trinan. There's no doubt about that. And Blake Trinan is absolutely going to be a key piece to this bullpen. But if he's missing his spots, if you're seeing him kind of pull that slider a little bit or just hang it a little bit, it tends to be an issue. But last two appearances, I mean, he did look good in Oakland. You're seeing less strikeouts from Blake Trinan of late, though. But I still am high on him. He had a 2.53 ERA in 10 2/3 innings in the month of July. But next big takeaway is Freddie Freeman. When we talk about Freddie Freeman, it's definitely a positive here. So the Dodgers, they are hoping that Freddie Freeman will be back with the team for the Dodgers series against the Philadelphia Phillies. He traveled to Houston, then he went back to be with his family for the family emergency, and his 3-year-old son Maximus is out of the hospital, and she posted about Maximus. He's been diagnosed with a neurological condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome, and he's going to be out. And she put it on her Instagram, after 8 long days in the pediatric ICU, we are officially home. Max is still a long road ahead of him to regain his strength and relearn how to walk, but we are so thankful to have our family back together. Thank you, God, for this miracle. Also, thanks to you, our incredible team of doctors and angel nurses, for taking such good care of our boy, and to our village for helping us so much with Charlie and Brandon. Hashtag Max Strong, hashtag GBS, hashtag GBS awareness, hashtag GBS survivor. So that is the best news, is that Freddie's family and Maximus, and they're on the mend, and he's going to be back. Freddie's going to be back, and that this is a very scary situation. Freddie Freeman, I've interacted with every single one of these players on this team. There's not a nicer guy. There's not a more thoughtful guy than Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman doesn't matter if you're the CEO or you're the janitor. He's going to treat you the same way. That's about the nicest thing you can say to someone. It doesn't matter who you are. Freddie's going to give you the time of day. He's going to be respectful and cordial. I've seen him be as generous and giving to reporters from any type. It could be ESPN, it could be whatever it is, and Freddie will engage and he'll be present, and he doesn't act like he's this MVP larger than life guy. So yeah, Freddie Freeman is really a gem of a guy. Great first baseman, great player, but better human being. So definitely great to see some good news here for Maximus. It was definitely a scary situation. Lots of people talking about this on social media, and I think Chelsea Freeman, who's active on social media, I mean, using this opportunity to bring awareness to that too, I think is really cool as well. But next big takeaway, River Ryan. So a commenter on the show has the best nickname for River Ryan, the LA River, because he's dirty, because he's nasty. And you look at his performance so far, a 1.72 ERA in 3 starts, 15 2/3 innings. Yesterday went 4 2/3 innings, and for me, it's the poise, it's the confidence, it's the, hey, I belong kind of mentality. And yesterday, you're not seeing tons of swing and miss, tons of strikeouts. When 4 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 75 pitches. But you look at the approach and the first pitch strikes, he was 17 for 21 on first pitch strikes. That's getting ahead in the count. And when it comes to pure stuff and how nasty he is, the strikeouts are going to come. The swing and miss is going to come as well. And the bottom of the first inning, he left a 4-seam fastball up and in, right in Brent Rooker's nitro zone that went as a 2-run home run. But outside of that, I mean, big strikeouts and big spots too. I mean, nasty curveball to strike out Butler in the bottom of the second inning. That was nasty. And He was able to induce soft contact in the next at bat against Brent Rooker to get him to ground to a double play after he had given up that single to Andujar in the 3rd inning. 4th inning, he had a 1-2-3 inning, struck out Langoliers on a nasty slider. So I like the fact that you're seeing him spot that 4-seamer. You're seeing him use the slider. You see him use that curveball. And I think that with River Ryan, who is someone that I've been told has just known that he was going to be in the big leagues. I mean, this is, first of all, I want to say thank you to the San Diego Padres. Thank you to the San Diego Padres for giving us River Ryan for Matt Beatty. River Ryan is a converted shortstop that became a pitcher that I think could be a massive weapon for the Dodgers in the postseason. And the way that weapons work is you have to use them. And I think that they should use him in an interesting way where you don't give him a lot of pressure to go 6 innings, but you use him where he can be optimized. And I think when everyone gets healthy, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Because you got a 13-day stretch coming up. Walker Buehler should be back pretty soon. And if you look at all the starters in the rotation, now with Jack Flaherty, Gavin Stone, River Ryan, Tyler Glass now. Gavin Stone has not pitched great of late. I don't want to see River Ryan optioned. Yes, that's the easiest thing to do. You've got the options on River Ryan. He can flow down the river to OKC for a couple weeks. But this is key development stage time. And yes, you don't have the massive cushion in the National League West like you did, but you need to see who is going to be a part of this postseason mix. And the truth of the matter is this is the first time he's gone into the 6th inning, first time he's faced these type of hitters. This is not someone who grew up pitching like some of these other guys did every single 5-6 days, right? This is someone that needs to be exposed to big league hitters for an extended period of time for you to earn trust in him when it matters most. And you look at Gavin Stone of late, and Gavin Stone is getting the start in this series. Gavin Stone, since pitching a shutout against the White Sox, he's gone 22 2/3 innings, and he's allowed 18 runs on 39 hits with 17 strikeouts and 6 walks. And in those 5 starts since his complete game shutout against the White Sox, he's given up 7 home runs in those 5 starts. Gavin Stone had given up 6 home runs in his first 15 starts combined. So I think the move would be to, you're this deep into the season, that's an easy phantom IL for Gavin Stone. I'm not saying you option him, but if you phantom IL him, maybe he gets an opportunity to go and get a minor league rehab start if you want to go that route. But Gavin Stone could be the number 4 starter for this team in the postseason. Could be Kirsch, could be River Ryan. It could be Buehler. I mean, a lot of competition for that number 4 spot. And I just don't want to see Gavin Stone run out of gas when you look at the year he's had. Because the issue with him lately, it's not that the whiffs aren't there. It's not that the strikeout numbers have gone down. It's this, he's given up too many hits. And the reason why Gavin Stone has given up too many hits is because the command is a little off, so you're leaving stuff a little out over the plate. Last start on Friday, we went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs. In that game, 8 hits. Against Houston, gave up 4 runs, 9 hits. Against Boston, 6 hits. Phillies, 9 hits, right? So too many hits right now for Gavin Stone. Stone has been a rock for this rotation. I'm still a Stoner, but I also want to think about the postseason, and I want to give River Ryan those opportunities. So next big up, though, let me know what you guys think they should do with Stone. We got Nando. Nando. My wife is also known as the LA River for the same reasons. Okay, Nando. Come on now. JR, River Ryan shutting out the Padres in the playoffs would be gold. That's a fire take. I like that. So you win. Ismael Sanchez, Bazooka, Kopech, 1-2 punch sounds scary. Yes. Yes. And did you see that, Noel? That Brusdar Graterol on his IG. He's in LA.
I did.
Go check that out. Could maybe post that, because that, to me, that feels like something.
That feels good.
Yeah.
We need him back.
I mean, out of your reliever mix of social media love, I mean, Joe Kelly's number 1.
Oh, easily
number 1. But Brusdar, when he's right,
Bazooka's up there. Him, Vesia, the energy they bring.
The Vesia fire, he gets some love there for sure. But with Graterol, I mean, that's gonna be huge. He had a 1.20 ERA last season, had a breakout year, and Made a couple rehab outings, and he's going to be activated off that injured list hopefully this week. So I love that. I mean, having Brusdar, having Kopech, you need different looks. Friedman's talked about that, is having guys that can give you different looks out of the bullpen. You don't need 10 Lamborghinis, right? But you need a couple Lamborghinis in Brusdar and Kopech, right? And then you can get those other guys in there that can do different things. But Joe Kelly can pump velocity too. Trinan's nasty. I mean, there's a lot of makings to have an elite bullpen here. But I want to talk about Shohei Ohtani. I mean, the fact that we've made it 45 minutes into a Dodgers show without talking about Ohtani is a miracle. That's a record. But Shohei Ohtani, I mean, what more can you say about this guy? I mean, he becomes a 30-30 player over the weekend, tied Jose Canseco for being the fourth fastest player in big league history to reach the 30-30 plateau. And he did it in 111 games. And he becomes the first player in big league history to reach the 30-30 club as a primary DH. And what really is special, becomes the fourth Dodger season to do it, the third Dodger ever to do it, but the fourth Dodger season ever. Raul Mondesi, he did it twice. Matt Kemp did it in the 39-40 season. We know if he got one more home run, he would have won the MVP. We also know the Dodgers played one less game that season. We also know that Ryan Braun's was juicing. So there's that. But he definitely deserved that. But I asked you guys over on the X, could Shohei Ohtani have a 50-50 season? Well, if he does that, well, he becomes the Dodgers' all-time leader in home runs in a season, passing Sean Green's 49. And looks like a lot of people think yes. 73% of you say yes, he will be the first 50-50 player in big league history. Well, he's on pace for 48 home runs and 45 steals. There've only been 5 40-40 seasons in big league history. You have Canseco in 88. Bonds did it in 96. A-Rod did it in 98. Alfonso Soriano did it in 2006. And Ronald Acuna Jr. did it last season. But I think that Shohei Ohtani, he wants to have a special first year on the Dodgers. And how special would that be? Not only do you become the 6th member in Major League Baseball history to reach the 40-40 club, but you become the first 50-50 player in big league history. I'm going to say it right now. I think it happens. I think that Shohei Ohtani becomes the first 50-50 player in big league history. If you look at where he stands right here, 33 home runs. Hey, he's got a couple months basically to get 17 more jacks and 31 stolen bases. The way he can get stolen bases in bunches, I mean, we saw him get 2, 3 a night. I think if he gets close, you're going to see a little more active push to take advantage of that when he's on base. So I think he's going to do it. I mean, I think it's a lock right now that he wins the MVP. And he's become the first DH in big league history. And the truth of the matter is that the Dodgers version of Shohei Ohtani is better at the plate. He's better offensively than the Angels version of Shohei Ohtani. So that was great to see over the weekend. Now, some more we got to talk about Mookie Betts really quick. This is definitely a positive. So Mookie Betts' return, he's trending towards an August 12th or 13th return. That's from Dave Roberts. And we talked about Brusdar Graterol and Michael Grove. They're close to finishing their rehab assignments. They're pretty much done, and they're going to be back hopefully at some point this week. But Mookie Betts is going to be participating in a live simulated game on Thursday. You're going to have Miguel Rojas, Tommy Edman in that game. Max Muncy's going to be in that game. They're going to be facing pitchers from Rancho. But Mookie Betts is going to be back very soon. The rehab has gone well, and I think that we're going to look back 2 months from now and say that 6-week, 8-week stretch that he missed is going to lead to him having enough gas in the tank. He's going to have his best postseason for the Dodgers since 2020. I think Mookie Betts is going to have the best postseason for the Dodgers for himself since 2020. And he was 0 for last year against the Diamondbacks. Went 0 for 11. Did not have success. Mookie told me that he wants to finish this season. And Mookie only knows one way to play, and that's hard. That's with max effort. And this season, he was asked to be a shortstop. Now, will he stay at shortstop? That remains to be seen. He's been taking tons of ground balls there before games, still doing all the work to stay at shortstop. But you do have options. You do have Tommy Edman. You do have Kike Hernandez. You do have Ahmed Rosario. You do have Miguel Rojas. So there are some options there. And with the way Gavin Lux is swinging the bat, you really can't take him off of second base at this point. So your options are move Mookie Betts back to right, where personally I think that's where he should be because he's a 6-time Gold Glove Award winner, so it makes a lot of sense. And then you have him focus on what he can do at the plate. And then you focus on a glove first level defender or Tommy Edman or Miguel Rojas or Ahmed Rosario at shortstop. But I think Andy Pages ultimately will get optioned, and we'll see what happens with Jason Hayward. I mean, Jason Hayward has a lot of pull within the organization just because he's Freddie Freeman's best friend. I don't think they're going to move off of his best friend, but Hayward has been below average. I do think that he definitely profiles more as a fourth outfielder. So I think Mookie and right does make a ton of sense. And I do think, though, if Mookie wants to play short, probably let him play short. I hope that's not the case because even though he did improve, the defensive metrics say that he was a below average shortstop and he's so important to what this team does offensively. I don't want him to get injured. I want to get him worn down. And I also think when you have elite defensive, you have literally 2 elite defensive shortstops on this team in Miguel Rojas and Tommy Edman. So I go that route. Next update, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's the leadoff. Whoops. Yamamoto, he threw a 20-pitch bullpen session on Saturday. It was the first time he threw on a mound since he suffered that strained rotator cuff back early in June. And Dave said, we were really excited about the command, the velocity. It's a big step forward. Obviously, we're all hoping to get him back at some point in time in September. So this was the first step for him. And then to be able to follow it up with another aggressive bullpen on Tuesday.
What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here. I'm here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel for all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, breakdowns, live streams, and more all year long. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to help the channel out, smash that like button. Also, you will not be eligible for any of our giveaways unless you are subscribed to the channel. So all you need to do to be eligible for all of our giveaways is just make sure that you are subscribed. We just gave away a brand new authentic Mookie Betts jersey valued at over $350. And we got tons of giveaways coming this offseason. So be sure to be subscribed so you are eligible to win. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and please subscribe.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live. And yeah, Yamamoto, they're expecting him back. Dave also said it's a big step forward. Obviously, we're all hoping to get him back at some point in time in September. So this was the real first step for him. And then to be able to follow that up with another aggressive bullpen on Tuesday, we're moving in the right direction. And Roberts also said that he could go on a minor league rehab assignment at some point. So Yamamoto's on the mend. We'll see how he bounces back. I think that things are absolutely trending where they need to be. And you got a nice big 3 in the postseason. But yeah, we got some more topics tomorrow. Let's keep reading some comments to end the show, though. We got, where can I get that hat? We're working on it. Let D-Mac, what up, Jose Aguirre? Edman, third base, Rosario, shortstop, Lux, second base, Betts, right field. Joe, man, I would take that lineup construction for sure. Yamamania from BC. We got Pika Pete looking forward to see what Edman can give the Dodgers down the stretch. Yeah, Pika Pete, he's an above average defender at essentially every defensive position outside of catcher, right? I mean, he doesn't even play first, but for me, it's how quickly he can find the stick and how quickly can he find rhythm at the plate because he's a switch hitter and that's really going to help this team. So there's no doubt about it. I'm very excited to see what he can bring and we'll see what happens with the rest of the guys that are on this roster that could be on the chopping block. But the beautiful thing about all of this is iron sharpens iron, competition is good, and they have competition in the starting rotation, in the bullpen, and for the bottom of the position players as well. So guys are going to definitely be incentivized to go out there every single day to secure their role for the postseason. BC IT Guy 3 says, I miss seeing Betts in the starting lineup. I am sure we all do. Philip Subia says Mookie MVP in the postseason. season, hey, that would be great because Mookie was on pace to be the MVP of the National League. I will love, though, a little Mookie NLCS or Mookie World Series MVP. I mean, his home run in Game 6 of the 2020 World Series really was the exclamation point for the Dodgers in that game. Ray Soto, Ohtani should go on the IL. His back is hurting from carrying this team. That's good. I'll give you a fire take. Hey, no, he's not from here, man. This guy's from another planet, man. Ohtani's going to be fine. He's on a mission. He's on a mission. He is. You know, an MVP, 50-50 club. Remember, 1. We got Codebreaker, D-Mac. I find Kershaw and Vesia pretty similar as far as mechanics, arm slot stuff, etc. How come Vesia is a bullpen piece and Kersh isn't? Well, for the simple fact that, 1, you're talking about an all-time great, first ballot Hall of Famer, that all he knows is starting outside of a few bullpen opportunities early on his career. In the Phillies series, he came out of the pen, and of course we saw it happen in 2016 against the Nationals, but his stuff doesn't have that carry in late life that Vesia's does out of the bullpen. I think for me, when you look at Kersh, it's the slider that's his dominant pitch, but it has to be set up by a well-located fastball. And then you mix in the Cooperstown public enemy number 1, as Vince Scully so eloquently dubbed it. Then you use the curveball, and he's also using some changeup. And the truth is that Kersh can give you multiple innings, right? I mean, there's no reason why Kersh can't find the mechanics and find the command and really get right and give you 5 innings of 3-run ball or something like that. Whereas that's not in the cards for Alex Vesia. And I just think that the way this bullpen is constructed, could he do it? Theoretically, sure he could, but it's not like he goes out there and empties the tank and is all of a sudden throwing 95, 96. I think that's just a lot to put on Kersh in this late stage of his career to say, okay, we're going to throw you in the bullpen and you can be a high leverage lefty. I mean, that's just tough. I mean, we saw in 2019, I mean, when you had a lefty-lefty matchup with Juan Soto in Game 5 of the NLDS, how that worked out. So, look, his best role for this team is still as a starting pitcher as of right now. If you do see more dominant swing and miss stuff, and they're confident that Stone or River Ryan or one of these other guys can take on that number 4 spot for the starting rotation, then maybe you go that route. But I still think you have to see if you can get him as a starter right now before you have that conversation. But yeah, there are some similarities for sure. I think that Kersh's balance is on other levels and his repeatability is on other levels than Alex Vesia. But I mean, when you look at bullpen pitchers, they're 2-pitch guys, right? And that doesn't need to be Kersh. Kersh doesn't have to be a 2-pitch guy because he's got that Uncle Charlie here. We got the D-Mac. Do you think Joe Kelly will be solid during the stretch in the playoffs? That's from Two True Blue. Look, Joe Kelly, he can be as great as anyone, or he can get injured and all of a sudden he's done. I mean, like I said, he's kind of like that friend that you love to hang out with, you love to party with, but he just kind of flakes on you last minute, right? He's kind of that guy. You just don't know what you're going to get sometimes. And as long as he's healthy, he's throwing better now than he has from the last couple seasons. So I'm encouraged by it. I have faith that he can come through for this team. I truly do, though. Freddie's ovation is going to be great tonight from Jose Aguirre. That's a fire take. It's a comment of the show contender right there. Mario Torres, put Gavin back at shortstop. He's gained his confidence and his defense has improved. Mario Torres. I talked to Andrew Friedman, Dodgers president of baseball operations, about this idea a little while ago, and my takeaway is that they're going to revisit that at the end of the season, but I highly doubt that they're going to do it during the season just because of all the momentum that he's built now with what he's done at the plate. I mean, he's been a really plus bat for at least 3 weeks now. So I think to throw him back at shortstop, I mean, that first bad throw, that first misplay, he's going to get it on his head at the plate, and you just don't want to do that, and then he doesn't become an additive player for you. So I think that you just take what you can get from Gavin Lux right now. I mean, he had a 937 OPS in July, hit 299. And he's hit 300 so far, 3 for 10 to start the month of August. So take what you can get. Gavin is the Dodgers' good luck's charm in the postseason. I think he's going to be a big hit on his way. But that is going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. We'll do a couple walk-off shots here. Give me your hottest takes. When is Freddy coming back? The hope is tonight. Jason over on YouTube. Kenny Chung, I'll be at tonight's game. Going to cheer loudly and give an ovation for Freddy, but boo the F out of Roberts. Okay, wow. That's not very nice, but hey, you pay for the seats, do what you got to do. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. Goated episode. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Fire shows on. Thank you, Philip Subia. We got one bad start, bro. Go back to last year. This year in the minors is the 2 games in the bigs. The analytics do not lie. He isn't even the best pitcher in the organization. Talking about this from Good Vibrations. We got Professor. Appreciate you, DMAC. Golden throw to the Dodgers. There's only one golden throw. Vince goes the platinum throat. But thank you guys as always joining us here. Appreciate also our super producer Antonio Tony Taters killing the game as he always does. You guys show Tony Taters some love. Go follow him. He actually had a really great tweet this weekend about the Oakland Coliseum. By the way, Oakland Coliseum is kind of like the dive bar of Major League Baseball. Hate to see it go, but lots of fun times there. And I was talking about Chris Pratt and, of course, Hatterberg in that scene. But go show him some love on Twitter. And, of course, Young Lotto, Noel Sanchez. This guy, if you see our fire content on Instagram, this is the man behind him. So go show him some love as well. Always bring in that heat. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Jam-packed down the stretch, guys. Post-game shows every night, hopefully, pretty much mostly. We got live shows Monday through Friday. All things Dodger baseball. Tons of giveaways. Comment Go Tani down below. We're going to do tons of crazy giveaways. The hats are on their way. We promise. The shirts are on their way. We want to thank you guys for making Dodgers Nation what it is. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel, and you guys really make this show and this channel what it is. So thank you guys as always. My name is Doug McKain. Like I said, remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed